boxing fans, boxing critics, boxing analysts, Renee Box Young. Salute from the South. Thank you so much for liking, subscribing, sharing, etc. Y'all know what it is. Bkfc 10 live on pay-per-view February 15th, 2020. It's going to be nice, man. I just want to break this down a little bit, okay? I want to break this fight down. In my perspective, as far as a boxing standpoint, analysis and breakdown. We're going to see this fight, obviously, between David Mundell and Hector Lombard. I really like David Mundell. I like him, okay? I don't want to focus too much as far as their past opponents, but I do want to focus on their fighting styles. Hector Lombard coming from MMA. A lot of these fighters in bare knuckle fighting championship sport come from MMA. Also, some of them are pro fighters too. But, like I said, I love the element of boxing in this sport. So, because it's mainly that. It's just with bare knuckles, not with gloves. So I want to focus on this, all right? I want to break this down just a little bit in my point of view, at least. First, let's start off with Hector Lombard, okay? Hector Lombard, this is in Bare Knuckle TV, .tv. Check it out in the link in the description, the website, okay? It has the information, on the fight, if you want to buy tickets, etc., whatever. So Hector Lombard, man, like, if you go back to his fights, he's quite up there in age. As a matter of fact, I got his little record here. This is on suredog.com. Go ahead and check it out, right? He's quite up there in age. If I'm not mistaken, okay, around, it says right here, 41 years of age. If you go back to, like I said, I'm not going to focus too much on his past opponents, but I do want to focus on this as far as his fighting style. Johnny Hendricks, when he fought Johnny Hendricks, in the octagon, as far as his boxing style, well, first let's talk about his physique. He's very muscular, okay? He has a lot of mass, weight on him, and that reduces his speed. So that's what I see, in Hector Lombard. When you see his performances, past couple years, you see that he's not the fastest, at least. It takes time for him to wind up punches, okay, which are easy to see, or they can be detectable. They're detectable. As far as with David Mundell, I'm sure he's going to detect Hector Lombard's punches, jabs, because of his physique, man, his mass. I'm sure in training camp, Hector Lombard is going to be working on that. He should. That should be a factor. He kind of reminds me, Hector Lombard, of Anthony Joshua in pro boxing. Anthony Yard. Well, Anthony Joshua too, but Anthony Yard, okay? Anthony Yard, he fought Kovalev. He lost against Kovalev. It was a great fight, though. But Anthony Yard, he's fast. But the mass, the body weight, all those muscles, the stamina issue, okay? It affects the stamina. It kind of slows people down as far as when, in boxing, the stamina goes down, that extra weight mass, it takes a toll, okay? That extra muscle mass, they're plumped up, and it takes a toll. You could just see the difference in the photos. Look at David Mundell. He doesn't have that much, muscle mass on him. And, so I think that's going to affect Hector Lombard in this fight, against David Mundell. I think that's going to really affect him. Hector Lombard doesn't have too many combos as far as when it comes to boxing, okay? Winding up slowly, not super slow, but it does take time for him to wind up, which I think David Mundell. Now, the problem here is that Hector Lombard, when he winds up in his punches, his power punches, a boxer, a fighter who has skills in boxing, can easily, use his feet to back up and uppercut, counter uppercut, or counter on the inside, with a straight right hand down the pipe or a left, what I'm saying, depending if they're orthodox or southpaw. So that's the disadvantage that I see Hector Lombard having. He's strong, he's knocked people down, he's knocked people out, before. But those power punches is a danger. That's a danger. Hector Lombard has that in his arsenal. He has power punches. His reflections are quick. His footwork, he looks flat-footed. So I think that's what I see in Hector Lombard. I think one of the biggest chances that Hector Lombard has, is fighting on the inside and using his power punch ability, his power punches. But, he has to work on that winding up thing. It's not gonna help too much, I think, in my personal opinion. Okay, his footwork, he has a good stance. His posture's firm, which I like from Hector Lombard, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I see in him, okay? When you go to David Mundell, okay, I don't want to make this video too long, but when you go to David Mundell, he's a great boxer, man. where can I start? You know, David Mundell, his footwork, okay? And also, let's go back real quick to Hector Lombard. I think also his stamina, repeating the stamina thing, okay? I think if it was against, Johnny, who I just mentioned a moment ago, Johnny Hendricks. I think it was that fight where, you know, later in the rounds, I don't even remember. I think it went all rounds in UFC. I don't watch UFC too much, but I do sometimes. And it looked like Hector Lombard, you know, his stamina was going down, so that's going to affect him. And David Mundell, on the contrary, his stamina, man, it's pretty stable, guys. As far as bare knuckle fighting, man, his stamina is stable. And you know, his footwork, his reflections, okay, they're right on point, man. David Mundell, he's a great boxer, man. I mean, I got to give him that ups, you know. If I'm not mistaken, he has the nickname as Redneck, man. Great fighter, man. So I think that's going to be real dangerous for Hector Lombard, because the thing is, David is going to easily see Hector Lombard wind up, you know, and try to throw some punches, try to throw some jabs. David's going to easily get out of harm's way, because his ringmanship is amazing, man. He uses the whole squared circle. He uses every inch of that squared circle, man. That's what I love about him. And he has like David Mundell with his footwork. When he starts boxing, he's like slanted backwards. His upper body is slanted backwards, you know, ready for punches and ready to avoid and ready to get out of harm's way. And his footwork, he's like bouncy. You know, if you guys seen, you know, Sean Porter, I think it was versus Ugas. You know, he changed his game plan. Sean Porter, you guys already know. If you haven't, what is Sean Porter? Sean Showtime Porter, welterweight, former champion, WBC champ. He fought Ugas, okay, and then he fought Danny Garcia. And in those two fights, he used a lot of he used jumpy footwork. And that's what David Mundell does. I mean, he uses that jumpy footwork. And for his weight, for David Mundell's weight, if I'm not mistaken, this is a heavyweight fight. If I'm not mistaken, okay? If not, I mean, they're up there in weight. I mean, as it is, they're up there in weight anyway. So, excuse me, for that weight, that David Mundell and Hector Lombard, that division they're fighting in, for that weight, for David to carry, and the footwork he has is amazing. It kind of reminds me of Evander Holyfield. Evander Holyfield had great footwork as a heavyweight, man. He would do that bouncy, you know, that bouncy movement. You know, then that's great for defense. It's awesome for defense and getting out of harm's way, using your footwork, using the ringmanship. David Mundell has that. So I think he's gonna be able to see, you know, detect Hector Lombard wanting to throw punches, you know, and he's gonna get out of the way, or he's gonna counter. He can, you know, if Hector's gonna, like I said a moment ago, if Hector's gonna throw a punch, David can read that. He can use his footwork to step back and boom, counter with an uppercut. Also, David Mundell fights great on the inside, guys. He fights great. The only thing that I see as a disadvantage with David Mundell, I don't know if he's orthodox. I really don't remember, or if he's a southpaw, but he sometimes throws left power punches, lunging forward. When he lunges and his head goes, he like looks down and he just lunges forward. That can be dangerous, because Hector Lombard has that power where he can just uppercut. When he sees David Mundell lunging forward, Hector Lombard can use his body work, you know, his defense with his arms. You know, he's a big guy, so I mean, he can easily, you know, he can easily slip those punches and uppercut. Boom, David, when David lunges in. So that can be a downfall for David Mundell. So he has to be careful he has to watch out with Hector's power shots, so power punches. So but you know, that's one defect maybe I can say with David Mundell. But apart from that, you guys, excuse me, David is great on the inside too. He throws combos on the inside. He fights amazing at a distance. Okay, so all in all, you guys, this is kind of like a prediction I can throw out. I see David Mundell winning. I don't think he's going to win by knockout. I don't think he's going to be winning by a knockout, you know. But I do think he's going to win, you know, all rounds, most rounds maybe by points. But I see him winning at the end, you know, by decision. So it's going to be cool, man. It's going to be great to fight. Like I said, man, keep an eye out on the sport, you guys, because of the great boxing abilities that you see and skills in that squared circle. So, hey, I got David Mundell for the win. We'll see who wins, man. All due respect to Hector Lombard, though. I think he's going to show up and show out, you know what I'm saying? I think he's going to put it all on the line, you know, but I personally think David's going to take it, man, because David's fast, too. That's another thing I didn't mention. David is quick. His counters are fast, too, man. He just, and his punches are direct. He doesn't really do like a roundhouse, you know, wide hooks. He just goes straight in the middle. Boom, right? You know, jabs right in the middle. Boom, right to the nose, right to the face. Bam, bam, bam. You know, so that I just see David Mundell taking the win, man. So hey, that's my analysis. That's my prediction. What do you guys think? Comment below. Okay, comment below. What do you guys think, man? Share your analysis too, man, because everybody has different points of views, right? So like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much. Rene Box Young, Bkfc 10. Keep a lookout for that fight, man. It's gonna be cool. Thank you so much. Shouts from the South.